What up, what up, what up? Hey, everybody, hope you're doing well. Hey, I just want to let you know, I know everybody can't always support and donate to the podcast, but hey, if you can do a one-time donation, I put up a Buy Me a Coffee link in this description of the podcast. So if you go to the description of the podcast, it'll be at the bottom, and you can just go to that link, and you can buy me a cup of coffee, or two if you want. And that would just help support the show, and I can wake up a little bit more and bring you more info. So thanks for listening to the podcast. If you can donate, that would be much appreciated. And let's get on to the show. What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO, legend, and paranormal lore. Welcome back, welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully you guys are doing excellent and taking care of yourselves, having a great weekend. So just to get this weekend started, I wanted to jumpstart a very interesting story and video that I just came across with Uri Geller telling a story about how he met Edgar Mitchell, one of the astronauts in the NASA program, and he introduced him to a man named Wernher von Braun. Now, if you don't know who that is, he is a rocket engineer from Germany who was actually part of the Nazi Party, came over to America and helped us develop our space program with rockets, and was part of the UFO conspiracy, had his hands on UFO technology, pieces of UFO craft, and he showed them to Uri Geller. Uri tells us about this in this video. I'm gonna bring up the audio in just a second, and he tells the story about how Wernher von Braun took him down 3 flights of stairs into a secret NASA base. So in this area, in 3 flights down, Wernher von Braun tells him and gives him a coat. He says, put on this coat. It's like a huge Antarctica coat is what Uri says. But, you know, in America we'd say, hey, it's probably just like a parka, right? A big parka coat, but it has a NASA emblem on this. Now, keep in mind, where Wernher von Braun's office is at NASA. Where Uri Geller was taken to outside of Wernher von Braun's office was to a concrete building at NASA. Okay? So when we think about how, we might think, NASA has nothing to do with the UFO problem. They're just monitoring space. Well, according to Uri Geller, that's a big old lie. And I think a lot of us have known that for a long time. But he really puts it in straightforward words here, and I want you guys to listen to it. But hear out what he has to say. He says when he puts on this coat, Wernher von Braun leads him into this freezer, a huge room, a humongous, like big room, that's a freezer that has alien bodies frozen in it. Shows him the alien bodies. He also says that they have some of them that they are talking to that are kind of like in stasis. They have them kind of like in a big tubular container, and they're able to communicate with them. Uri says he can't tell us a lot about it because a lot of it is still top secret, even though you'd think just the fact that he saw aliens and was led down there at NASA would be top secret. But I want you to listen to this video, or this audio. It is a video, but I'll put on the audio and I want you to hear it, and then we could talk about it a little bit more.
Hi, my dear friends. So, this is Captain Edgar Mitchell, who was a very close friend of mine. This is the first day I met him, and he wants me to meet Dr. Wernher von Braun, who told Mitchell that he wants to meet me. This is in Wernher von Braun's office in a secret NASA base. He's showing me a tiny piece of metal that comes from a UFO. Then he takes me into his personal office, shows me a bigger piece of a crashed UFO. Then he leads me to his limousine. That's his driver, and we drive towards a concrete building. He takes me down 3 flights. He wants me to put on a warm Antarctica coat. He does the same with a NASA logo, and then we walk into a refrigerator room. I want you to look at this very carefully, very carefully. Some people say, it's not real, it's a fake. I believe that it's absolutely real. I've seen them with my own eyes. That's as much as I can tell you. That's what I've seen in the refrigerator room. Some are bodies, maybe some are alive. We're communicating with them. Anyhow, they exist.
So what's really cool there is that he's actually giving us a tour of his museum. This is something that he created to allow folks to walk through history, see the projects he's been a part of, and really engage with everything he's done, which has been totally amazing. I mean, everything from the bending of the spoons to working with, the top secret programs and even aliens. Now, he's addressing a few things here, and I'll kind of go step by step through them. He talks about being friends with Edgar Mitchell, right? One of NASA astronauts. He talks about how Edgar Mitchell introduced him to Wernher von Braun. Some of you may not know who Wernher von Braun is. He is a rocket scientist from Germany who was actually part of the Nazi Party and even the SS. And then once the war was lost by Germany, he came over to America and helped us to continue to develop our rocket program. And he even developed the V2 rocket, which was a humongous leap in rocket science. Now, he states that Werner took him into his personal office, showed him pieces of a UFO craft ship, and then took him to another building. They jumped into a limousine, and he has pictures of this in his museum. It's really cool. He has pictures, so it's proof that he met Wernher von Braun. He's showing him a piece of craft, and he even takes him in the limousine down 3 flights. Now, he doesn't have pictures of the aliens, right, because that'd be a bit much, but he says they go down 3 flights of stairs, or 3 flights, not stairs, but he just says 3 flights, and then they go into this refrigerator room. But before they do that, they put on their winter coats with the NASA logo. So it's interesting because all of this is happening at NASA. He states that his office is at NASA. He went to NASA. And everybody thinks, NASA, no, maybe they're not part of the alien conspiracy. Well, according to Yuri, they are. And they are holding aliens at NASA in their buildings. So that's got to make you feel good. Knowing we're just getting straight up lied to. But anyway, he goes down into this refrigerated room, puts on the big NASA parka, and then they go in with Wernher von Braun. He shows Yuri the aliens that they have frozen in there, and then he shows them the live aliens that they're communicating with. The reason that this is important, the reason this actually came up was because there's a video on the internet now, and it's not one that you're thinking of. It's actually a new one where it looks like it's based out of Chile. That's the report. It's what it says, where a Chilean man was actually communicating with a tall, what appears to be gray, not a small one. And this gray looks actually somewhat muscular, not like Arnold Schwarzenegger muscular, but like like he's toned, right? He's toned. He's got not enough strength on him to, maybe lift something, whereas a lot of these grays really don't. So that's really interesting. But anyway, he pulls up this video on his on his screen, and he says, this video just came out. He says, many people are dismissing this video, but I'm here to tell you that I saw these aliens with my own 2 eyes. And he's like pointing to his eyes. It's like, when you're reading body language, there's some truth-telling body language that you can tell. I've always believed Yuri, maybe not at first, because I was, I think like a lot of people, I was skeptic, but once you do the research and he's been documented in many, many programs. But anyway, he shows this video, and this alien, it does have the large gray eyes. It is gray, but it has like all these like veins kind of going through the side of its head, and it has like kind of like these discolored spots going through its shoulder and neck and going down, and it looks like it's communicating with this guy. And then it turns not fully towards the person who has the camera, but kind of, at like a a kitty corner aspect, like a diagonal, so you can see his face a little bit more in his eye, and just with the reflections of it and the vibe that you get when you look at this alien, it does look real. So it is interesting that Yuri himself, who's seen these things, worked with these things, communicated with these things, is able to do remote viewing, is a psychic. Keep that in mind. Yuri is a psychic. He can uh, tell what's going on in the future. He can remote view things that are currently happening right now. He can see what's going on in secret programs. So when he tells you, this person who is an expert in this field tells you that something that he's seeing in the video is real, chances are it's probably real. Okay, so this is really fascinating, because I love when videos can be confirmed by experts, and especially somebody who's actually seen one. And it's not your typical 3 foot gray. This thing is like 6 feet tall because it's standing next to a Chilean guy, and he's taller than that man. So very fascinating stuff. Now, one thing that's interesting to note, Werner von Braun is a rocket scientist, right? Yet he has all this access to all this other information. Like he can lead Yuri into uh, the alien refrigerator room. He can show him UFO craft. Of course, Yuri was read into these programs because he had to do research in these programs. He had to do remote viewing with these programs. He had to communicate with these different species as well for the government. So the government's paying for all this stuff. Very fascinating story. Very fascinating piece of evidence that we get to see firsthand. And his museum, I'll tell you what, it's really nicely done. It's got all these brick inlays. It looks like it really looks like the French catacombs. It's got these stones, like round circular stones, not like brick, but like stones that have been created in a arch-like pattern throughout the entire museum. And it's not a huge museum, right? It's not like, going to be this big museum, but it is a decent sized museum where it has all these pictures of the individuals he's interacted with the government, different projects, programs he's done, obviously going back into his first step out into the limelight on British television and that kind of thing. So I believe Yuri's still going strong at 76. 76. So he's really trying to put out his history here and give us the knowledge, pass on the knowledge, and that's what we really desperately need in this field, is to get that knowledge. So he's giving that to us. So to wrap it up, I strongly recommend you check out Yuri's museum. Just look it up. There's some videos. He does have a TikTok channel where he takes us through a little bit of his museum, and then I'm sure he probably has like a website for the museum as well, but that's where I've mainly seen it, is on TikTok. It's brand new, really cool. Check it out. That video is on there. Check that out. I'll try to put a link in the description of the podcast too. Sometimes I forget because I'm moving on to more and more things, but I'll try to do that. But you can always go on TikTok, go on Uri Geller's channel, just type it in. It'll have an official checkbox next to it. It'll be blue. And yeah, it's really interesting, really fun stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go. I just wanted to bring that up. Nice story, and I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves physically, spiritually, emotionally, following through on your hobbies and your goals and your dreams, and as always, continue to question the universe around you. Until next time, guys, take care. Lockdown Universe out.